Hello again. A bit of an update on the Starliner I've been working on over the last few days, or whatever. I've been having quite a bit of fun with this, digging in through my scrap box to try and find out some suspension parts for it, because it wasn't a complete kit, as I said in the previous videos. So I've been working on that, and also I'll start with the body. On the inside, I can't get any light in there, can I? Yes, I can. On the inside, there was some quite bad ejector points on it, so I've cleaned them off, and I've brush painted several layers of acrylic paint on the underside. Also, I've removed the sun visors. There were moulded in sun visors at the front, so I've removed those, and I'm building up several coats of paint, which I want to then rub back and put a wash in to try and get a sort of old material, sort of cracked vinyl finish to the roof panel, in part of the aging of the car sort of that I'm doing. And like I said, I removed the sun visors and made two more. And this is another area where the aluminium foil technique I was using the other day would come in handy. Because if you embossed moulded in sun visors with foil, you'd be able to take the relief off of them, the upholstery pattern, and then back that up with plastic sheet, much as I've done here. It's a sandwich of two bits of sheet, and then use the aluminium embossed part on to show your details up, and reinforce that with super glue and plastic sheet to make your mountings on. I've still got to make mountings for the pivots on these, and then put them back in the roof. Over here in the tray, I've got 4 new shock absorbers that I've been making, and I also dug out some parts. These were from an F1 car with an air scoop on them, which I've hollowed out a bit. I don't know whether that's gonna show up on there, is it? I hollowed out the air scoop a bit and cleaned off the disc. There's still a bit of a stain. I still might clean that a bit more. I've drilled it out for a pin there that I've drilled into my suspension, so as I can drop that into place. And as you can see by that point, I've just put in a little packing triangle, where is it, in there, to just change the distance in there to fit that axle and pin through the top. And then I'd have the hub goes into that area with the scoop inboard on that. On the back end, I've cleaned up the leaf springs quite a bit, as they were had quite bad mould marks along the centre line of them, so I've cleaned them up on both sides. I've also chopped out a bit more of the floor to accommodate the new shock absorbers I've put in, so I'm putting in another welded panel. Let's ping this back out, it's nice and tight now. Come here. So I've cleaned up all the leaf spring seams on both sides, because they might be quite visible, and infilled the top of the chassis there that was hollow. There's another square there in front of the A-arm that I'm leaving as a socket for, sure this is the right one, for a bar that I'm putting in into that socket as a front brace to the firewall. On both sides I've obviously made two. Anyway, so I've left that square open as a handy socket for those to locate in. Also adding 4 shocks at the back. I've been making up new shackle plates that I can't pick up at the moment. Where's my sticky? Unbelievable. They're flying around like little butterflies. Got one. Which I've drilled from my locating points of the axle and the shackle pins, and then I'll cover those areas with nuts, the Meng nuts that I showed in the last few weeks. Very handy, those. I've sort of put in a weld effect of plate and weld around there. I'm thinking of leaving some of this in this finish sort of thing, a mixture of matte black and then repaired as part of a sort of general history of the car being built. There's quite a few parts on these here shock absorbers, about 10 or so parts each, something like that. And I've made the top, come on, there you go. This little sprue that I'm holding is actually the top mounts for them. I'll then cut these up into smaller parts, but they're like slivers, slices. I'll take them all apart again to repaint each part and then put them back together again. And over here I've got a couple of templates. These are for the side windows on the body. I've got obviously a left and a right one, so I thought if I make just one template, they're going to be slightly different. The wheels I've ended up using, these come from a 1932 AMT Ford Phaeton, which I've skimmed down and bored out to the size I've wanted, then clamped them together to get that. I've drilled them and put in a valve at the top there. It's not going to show it apart from a shadow. Oh, there we go. And I've probably got to do more painting on the lettering. I'm not a very good letter painter. The bodywork, the actual paintwork I've got covered up, but that's basically what I'm going for, is an old weathered look. I've got some old cracked up decals I want to put on there, on the sides and that yet. Because I thought, good chance to use up old knackered decals on a car that's meant to be aged, or the paintwork's aged. So if you watch the Motor Trend channel video that I've tried to list, that shows the sort of idea of what I'm going for. That's about it for the moment. Hope you all have a nice Christmas. Best wishes from jolly old England.